Hi all, welcome back to my channel. So in today's session, we are going to understand or learn what is the sequence objects in SQL Server. So first we will understand what is basically the sequence object in SQL Server, then how it is similar to the identity column in SQL Server that we often used in the table. Then we will understand the creation or the syntax of sequence objects, and we understand the significance of why we use the sequence objects, okay, or the usage. Then we'll understand, is there any way to alter the sequence objects, the incrementing and decrementing the value. So without any further delay, let's get started. So we'll understand the practical definition of the sequence objects. We can say it is basically, as its name suggests, it is basically used to generate the numeric value sequence wise, sequentially, okay, like that. Like if you can see on my screen, I have one table, employee data id is int. It is not a primary key, but if I wanted, it contains the numeric value, but I wanted the numeric value to be generated automatically sequence wise whenever I insert a new record, then we can use the sequence object. Similarly, we can use the identity column as well. We can create this column id as an identity column, and then it will, the SQL Server engine will automatically generate numeric value. So how it is different? The sequence object, how it is different from the identity column? See, identity column is basically tagged with the or we can say attached to the table, okay. Identity column, we need to attach the identity column with this column id, but sequence object is global. I mean, this sequence, you can create a sequence object and then you can use in employee data table, or you can use in the other table, sales data, okay. So it is not like that, like the identity column, which is, if you attach the identity column with this id column of employee data table, then it is no longer available, or no longer you can use the same identity column property to the sales data. You have to attach the identity column property to the id column of sales data table. Whereas in sequence, you create a one sequence object, and then you can use the same sequence object to fill the data automatically, to fill the or we can say to fill the values in the id column, or we can say the integer columns sequence wise in both the table, in employee data table and in sales data table, okay. So this is basically, in a layman language, we can say it is the object which is provided by the SQL Server to ease our life, so that we can generate the numeric value sequence wise to the multiple tables in the SQL Server database. So, and let understand the syntax. So how you can create? So we can say it is used to just generate the numeric values sequentially, okay. Then let's understand the creation, or we can say the syntax. So how you can create? As we create the simple table, similarly we create the sequence object. So we need to start with the sequence, create sequence, and then we need to provide the schema, okay. So we need to provide the schema of the sequence, and I will give the nicer name as a counter, or I'll give as a sequence counter or sample sequence, whatever you like, you can give the name. And you need to provide the data type of the sequence counter. So you can give, I said that the definition say it generate the numeric value. So numeric value will be provided by the multiple database, multiple data type, like integer, small int, big int, tiny int, okay. So that data type you need to provide here. So I'll take it int, and then you need to give the value, from which value it's going to start and from which value it is going to increment by, okay. So I want to start with value 1 and increment by value 2, okay. So this is a simpler sequence syntax of the sequence object. Then we have an option of setting the minimum value and maximum value as well, and we have an option to restart the values as well once the maximum value got reached, okay. But those three options are, you can say, is optional, like minimum size or minimum value, okay, and then maximum value we have, and then we have cycle option to recycle the or restart the counting. So let me scrap this and let me remove this. I'll start with the basic syntax and then we will continue with the advanced syntax of the sequence object. So first we'll execute it. So what I have done, I have created a sequence object which will start with the 1 and it got increment by the 2. Okay, now we can use the sequence counter to insert the data in the employee data table and the sales data table. Okay, before that, if you wanted to see what the value it is going to generate, okay, so what are the syntax to get that? If you wanted to get the value, so it is like select value, not fetch, select next. So you have to write only this. I want the next value to be fetched for this sequence counter. So I just wanted to know what value it is having if I try to retrieve the value from the sequence object. So very first time when I execute this statement, then I got the value 1. Okay, and what it is saying, it start with a 1, so I got the value 1. If I again go and execute this, then what will happen, it will increment by, it should increment by 2. So let execute it. Yes, you see, very first time it value is 1 and then it got incremented by 2, so it makes a value 3. Okay, so till now we understood how we can create a what a sequence object, how we can create it and how we can retrieve the data from the sequence counter. Now we'll understand what is the usage and where we can use it. So as I said earlier, that we can use the sequence counter to add to insert or we can say in the DML statements while inserting, updating or deleting the data in the various tables. Okay, so I already have two tables here. If you can see, employee data and sales data. Okay, so I'll demonstrate it while inserting the data in both the tables. Okay, before I have some data inside employee data and sales data. So let's I'll do one thing. I'll truncate first the data from this table so that I can give truncate table and this employee data. Okay, let me truncate this data so that truncate this table, and then let me truncate the another table as well so that whatever the data we have in this table, it got deleted and we will get the fresh data with the help of the sequence counter. So this is all done. Let's see, let's check if the data is deleted from the employee data. We have anything here? Okay, so we do not have any data, which is very good. And second is we have another table, sales data. So let's do this and let's check here. Excuse me. So we have ID, sales order number, order name, sales reason, item sold. Okay, so we do not have any data. So let's go and insert the record inside employee data, and in the ID column we want the sequence, the number should be numeric and it will be inserted sequence wise, and if we wanted the ID will be incremented by 2. So the thing is, we will use the sequence counter which we have created. With the help of that, we will insert the numeric value in the ID column. So let's get started. Write an insert script and then insert into this table, and here we need to mention the column name and then values. So just I'll do it quickly to save some time here. Then last name, then city, and then is active. Okay, and here like how we insert the ID. So for that we need to just type x next value for, and then this till this path. Okay, instead of select, just copy this path and you can paste it over here. Okay, this will give you the next value. Okay, and here name, you can provide any name. Okay, then city and is active, let me is text, and city, let's say Delhi. Okay, so I'm going to execute this line of statement. One row affected. See, the data has been inserted. Let's go and check. The last time the data was 3. Okay, if you remember, last time was the data was 3 and it is incremented by 2 and now it is 5. Now let's again, I will add one more record here. Okay, in this table, and it should be 7 now. Now go and check the table. 5 and then 7. This way we will use it. Okay, similarly, if you want the data to be inserted in the same in the sales data, okay, you can use the same insert script for the sales data. Oh, sorry, Z, and insert into sales data here, and then values, then column. Okay, so here what columns we have, we need to expand this table to see what columns we have. ID, okay, then type. It will automatically, if you have intelligence enabled in your SQL Server, then it will automatically come, as you can see here. And then order name, then sales reason, then item sold. Okay, second. Okay, so like this one, we'll add. So in the same manner, how we add the sequence counter, we just copy this syntax for the ID column to be inserted. So the value which is coming from the sequence counter will be inserted into the ID column of the sales data. Sales order number will insert some random value. Okay, let's check the data type. It's varchar. Okay, so 123A. Let's type here 123A, the sales order number, then order name as mobile. Okay, and reason, let's say East India. Okay, let's say, or you can say Kolkata, anything, and order is 5, items sold is 5. So let's go ahead and insert the value. Cannot insert explicit value for the identity column when identity insert set is set to off. Okay, so that means in the sales data I have identity column applicable. Okay, in the employee data I do not have a identity column applied on the ID column, but in sales data table I have a identity column, identity property on the ID column is on. So that is why it is saying. So what I to demonstrate it, I need to do what I need to off the identity insert. Okay, from the column ID. So for that, what we can do, we can go to the properties of the sales data. Okay, we'll go to the design of the sales data and select this column ID, and auto incremented value will be property will be true, set true. So we need to make it false so that we can insert the data with the help of the sequence counter for the practical demonstration of the sequence counter. So I'll select this ID column. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah, so this ID column is selected. Now go to the properties here in down area here, and if you see identity specification property is yes, that means this value is going to insert by the SQL server database engine. So that will automatically value will be inserted. So what you need to do, you need to make it false. Identity specification. Oh, where it goes. See, allow null property cannot be set to the column because it is an identity column. So that is the problem here. So, I mean, that is not the problem. This is something which it ideally need to do. If a particular column is an identity, then we cannot. And need to IA full text specification is identity, and you need to make it as no. Okay, so this is done. Save as. See, identity specification. This saving changes not permitted. You have to make the required changes in the table to be dropped and recreated. So this is saying that the table we need to drop and you need to recreate the table to make this thing happen. So what we can do for this, just we can save the select script. Just give me a second so that we can do it very fast and we'll save some time. So this is the script. Okay, and let me drop this table and again I'll create this table. Okay, without identity column. So drop table. Anyways, we do not have any data in this table, so that there is no harm in dropping this table, and then we go ahead and uh, execute or create a new table. Now invalid object, why it is saying? Second, let me refresh. There is some, refresh the database. In employee DB, employee data is there. Select ID. Oh, sorry, this is select command. Okay, okay. I need to check. Okay, create table. Let's see. Sorry, I need to create a table. Okay, create table. An item sold integer. Okay, so I'm going to create this table inside the database employee DB. It is created. It is saying, let me refresh all the table which exist inside the employee DB database, and let's see if this table has been created. So this table has been now created. Now go back to the same query window where we are trying to insert the data in the sales data. Okay, so I'll go back here, and this I'll go down here, and I hope the columns is same. Yeah, all the columns is same. ID, sales order number, order name, and everything is there. So I'm going, I go ahead and execute this. One row affected. Okay, so one row is affected now, and if is been inserted. So now if I wanted to see what data we have in this table, so we'll fire the select query here, and we'll select this entire statement and execute it to see the result. Now the result is 9. If you remember, uh, the last entered data is 7, which is entered in the employee data table. Let me execute all both the table at one go. See, 5, 7, 9. Okay, so it is incremented by 2. Every time you insert the data in any table, it will increment by 2. So this is the definition of the sequence counter. But there, this is not an ideal scenario. In a scenario, might be you wanted the data should be inserted right from the value 1, then 3, then 5. Okay, in the sales data, you don't want the value to be incremented by from the last value which is inserted in the last table. So you want to alter the, so for that purpose you need to alter the sequence counter. Okay, so here it comes the next last topic where we can increment, decrement, or alter the values using the sequence counter. So the thing is, why it is beneficial to use the sequence counter. See, we can modify the sequence counter as per our need for each of the tables, for different tables. Like for this table I wanted the value should be incremented by 2. Let's say for the sales order table I wanted the value to be incremented by only 1, and it should start with the value 2. Okay, so this is my requirement for the, so the sequence counter is the same. What I wanted to do, I can alter this, and I can reuse the same sequence counter for inserting the, or generating the or we can say generating the numeric value in the sales order data. So how you can do it, or practically how you can alter the sequence counter. So for that you have a script, or we can say you have a command script alter sequence. You need to just type in sequence and you need to provide the name of the sequence which you have as this one. Instead of create, you need to add, and you need to provide as int. Okay, start with 2. I wanted start with 2, and increment by 1. So I go ahead, sorry, the spelling mistake is there. So go ahead and alter the sequence. Start with cannot be used. Okay, it's alter statement. Okay, we cannot start because we can increment, we can change the you can change the increment values. Okay, not the start. It is already start with a 1. Now if you wanted to change anything in the sequence counter, you can change the minimum size, maximum size, you can change the increment, or you can recycle, or you can cycle it. Okay, so this way you can increment by, okay, I think this is the syntax. Once again, see, so we have changed the increment by 1. Okay, now if you go ahead and insert the value in the sales order, so instead of 2, it is going to insert the value by 1. So if you see here, so 9, 10, again if you wanted to insert the data, so see, I'm not changing this data, I'm just demonstrating how this value is going to incremented with the help of sequence counter 9, 10, 11. So this way you can do it. Just in case if you wanted to set the minimum and maximum size, or minimum or maximum value of this numeric value, so what you can do, you can use the minimum and maximum keyword in the sequence counter definition, and there you will be able to set the minimum and maximum, and once the maximum value will be reached, then you can recycle it so that it will again come from the minimum value. So let's create a new counter to demonstrate it. New sequence counter, how you can create it. Let's say I'll say sequence counter to as integer data type. Okay, I want it, the value will be start with 1. Okay, and I want this value will be increment by 1. Okay, and I want this minimum size will be, so I need to mention the minimum value and maximum value. For that we have the keyword minimum value. Okay, and then we have the keyword max value, we can say min value set like 1, and max value I want it go till 5. Okay, so this is, so I need to mention a min value and max value. So max value, let's say we want go till 5. Okay, post that we don't want value to be incremented, so maximum value it will go till 5. So this is the this is the syntax of the sequence, where we can say that the sequence counter will be of it generate the value of integer data type, and it start with a 1, incremented by 1, minimum value will be 1, and maximum it goes to till 5. So let me go ahead and execute it. Okay, so now it is giving the warning, this is fine, there is no problem. Now let's say if I wanted to go beyond the 5, so what will happen? Let's execute the first retrieve the value which is generated by the sequence counter 2. So select next value for, so this is the select query to retrieve the value from the sequence counter 2. Okay, this way if I execute first time 1, second time 2, third time 3, fourth time 4, 5 times if I execute, the value will be generated as a 5. Now in the sixth time if I execute, then it will give me an error. Okay, the sequence object sequence counter 2 has reached its minimum or maximum value. Restart the sequence object to allow a new value to be generated. So it is saying this is the error, and it is giving a suggestion that please restart your sequence object which you have. Let me check the volume, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so it is giving us a suggestion that you need to restart the sequence object. Now, how you can restart this object? So for that, you can use the cycle keyword. Okay, cycle is nothing but to recycle the value. Okay, it will recycle your value. Okay, so how you can do it? You can first drop this sequence counter to, let me go ahead and drop the sequence counter. So if you wanted to get rid of this such kind of error in future, so it's always suggested, or it always recommended to use the cycle keyword when you use the minimum, when you specify the minimum or maximum value for your sequence counter. And it is always recommended to use the cycle, because once the maximum value reached, you will get this kind of error. So let me drop it again. I create the same sequence counter with the cycle. So now what will happen if I execute this to third time, fourth time, fifth time, and now I execute. When I execute the sixth time, I will not get the error. It will again restart from the value 1. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again it will restart from the 1. So this keyword will make you to recycle your word, recycle your auto generated values and get rid of this overflow error, you can say. Okay, this way you can use the sequence counter, and it is very beneficial when you have, just in case you have created a table, very big table, and you forget to put the identity column in that table, which, and later on you realize you have this value to be generated automatically. Okay, so instead of change the schema of the entire table, it is always beneficial, or it is, we have one option that you can create a sequence object, and you can make use of the sequence object to insert the numeric generated values with the help of sequence containers to the table. Okay, so I hope you understood what is sequence object, how it is different from the identity column, because it helps to entire table, or it helps to as many of tables which is available in your database. Okay, whereas identity column is specific to the particular table. Okay, and what is the uses? It is used to generate, or it is used to insert the values in the tables, or sequence wise in DML statements. Okay, how you can alter the sequence counter, how you can increment and decrement. The similarly you can decrement the values as well. It is not always that you can increment. Okay, so how you can do decrement, as you alter the the sequence container. Okay, there is one statement where we have alter here alter sequence. There you can use the decrement as well. Okay, or you can increment by -1. So this will by default, it will decrement your values. So this way you can decrement your counters as well. Then how you can drop it? This is the statement or syntax to drop statement. And if you wanted to use the min value, max value, and if you wanted to recycle your recycle your values in the sequence counter, then you can use the cycle. This minimum value, maximum value, and cycle, these three are the optional values. Okay, these are the optional option things that you have that SQL has provided to you. Okay, so this is the basic syntax, and if you wanted this value to specify, you can specify this. And I will suggest, if you use the min, and if you specify min value and max value, please specify the cycle as well. Okay, so I hope you like the video. In case if you have any doubt regarding this session, please help me in please write your queries in the comment section. I will if I will get some time to provide you the answers. Thank you, and have a nice day, guys. Happy learning.